All right, boys and girls, can everyone clap 3 times if they can hear me right now? Awesome, thank you. Okay, so yesterday during our reading lessons, we talked about what time of day it is and what different things happen during each time of day, what happens during the morning, afternoon, night. Well, today we're going to kind of go along with that, but we're going to go more in depth into the who, what, when, where, and why of a story and why certain characters do what they do. Does anyone know what who, what, when, where, and why means? Anyone? Good! It's different things that happen during the book that characters or settings or events happen. So today we're going to be reading Wake Up Wilson Street, this book right here, and we are going to be looking for clues that signify what who, what, when, where, and why means and why they're in the book like this. So I need all of you to be good listeners and to be detectives to find clues that match up to our who, what, when, where, and why. And then we are going to use that in our own reading later on. Alright, so we're going to begin reading our book here. I need everyone to pay attention. Alright, Wake Up Wilson Street by Abigail Thomas. Does anyone know what this book might be about? Does anyone see pictures that maybe look familiar or anything? It looks like nighttime right now. Does anyone know what time of day it might be right now? Anyone know what time of day? Good, it might be, morning or it might be afternoon. We don't know yet. There's another picture that might tell us a little bit more about what time of day it is. Alright, ready? Lots of people live on Wilson Street, but Nana and Little Joe are always the first ones up. You're an early bird, said Nana, just like me. Shh, said Nana as they tiptoed down the stairs. Mommy and Daddy are still asleep. Shh, said Little Joe. They are quiet as mice. Does anyone know why they're tiptoeing down the steps? Yeah, to be quiet, so they don't wake Mom and Dad. Have any of you guys ever tiptoed down the steps, sneaking out of your rooms? I know I did it when I was little. Nana makes 2 cups of cocoa and Little Joe puts a marshmallow in each cup. Yum, yum, says Nana. Yum, yum, says Little Joe. They sit in the big rocker and look out the kitchen window. Little Joe is snuggling on Nana's lap. Wake up, Wilson Street, says Nana. It is still dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds on the telephone wire. The sky is getting lighter. Does that tell us what time of day it's starting to get out? Yeah, good. It's starting to be morning outside. Here comes Charlie the paper boy on his bicycle. He wears a red hat. He has newspapers in his basket, and he throws one against the front door. Whoomp! We'll leave it there for later, says Nana. We're in no hurry. Who do you think the first people up are going to get? Who do you think the first people are that are going to read their newspaper for the day? Is it going to be Nana and Joe, or is it going to be someone else? Might be a neighbor. Good. Might be, maybe it's Mom and Dad. We'll have to read to find out. Mrs. Kopek, the next person up, she opens her front door and bends down for her paper. Then she looks at the sky. It's going to be a fine Saturday today. She sees Nana and Little Joe in the window, and she waves. They wave back. Mrs. Kopek starts to sweep her front porch. She likes to get an early jump on the day, says Nana. Does anyone know who the next person up might be? Do you think it'll be Mom and Dad or Nana or someone? Next, Mr. Oakley comes out of his home. Everybody calls him the Duck Man. He is carrying a big paper sack. Nana and Little Joe look down the street. This morning there are 10 ducks waddling along the sidewalk to Mr. Oakley's house. He feeds them every morning. Quack, quack, says the duck. Quack, quack, says Nana and Little Joe. Quack, quack. Down the street, there's a shade goes up for the window on Mr. Vernelli's grocery store. Does anyone know what kind of food comes in a grocery store? Does anyone know? What kind of food looks like in these pictures? Good, yeah, it could be tomatoes or milk or... Good, yeah, good job. He carries a big basket of tomatoes outside. Then he carries out a big basket of corn. Nana says, yum. Little Joe says, mmm. A milk truck stops in front of the grocery store. The driver carries big trays filled with milk into the store. My, says Nana, that looks heavy. The truck drives away. Vroom, says Little Joe. Vroom, says Nana. Look, says Nana, pointing out the window. 2 squirrels. Look, says Little Joe. Next door, Mrs. Gregory comes outside with her easel and her paints. I wonder why she has her easel and her paints out in the morning. I wonder what she's going to do with them. Does anyone have a clue what she might do with them? Good, she might be painting. Yeah, what do you think she's painting a picture of? It could be the outdoors, yeah. Or it could be the dog or the squirrels. She is making a picture of her house, which is white with red shutters and a red chimney. Mrs. Gregory always wears a straw hat. Mrs. Kopek walks across the street to have a look. An artist needs to catch the morning light, said Nana. Now, Mr. Morris comes outside with a bucket of soapy water and 2 sponges. I wonder what he's going to do. Does anyone know what this picture looks like he's going to do? Yeah, it looks like he's going to wash his car. He is going to wash his car before it gets too hot. The sun is getting higher in the sky. Victoria is going to help her father. He gives her a blue sponge to dip in the bucket. She likes to see her face in the clean hubcaps. What a funny mirror, says Nana. Does anyone wonder where the mom and dad are in the book? Why don't you turn and tell your neighbor where you think mom and dad are yet? You think they're maybe sleeping still or maybe on vacation? Yeah, that's a good assumption. Now Nana and Little Joe hear noises coming from upstairs. Who do you think's up there? What do you think? Is it maybe a sibling or maybe it's mom and dad? Here comes Mommy in her pink bathrobe. Good morning, says Mommy, and she gives Little Joe a kiss. Have you 2 had your breakfast yet? Not yet, says Nana, as Little Joe shakes his head. We've been much too busy. I wonder where Dad is. Do you think he's gone on vacation or gone for work or somewhere already? Nah, maybe he is. Maybe he's still sleeping. Finally, Daddy comes downstairs. He is always the last one up on Saturday mornings. His face smells like shaving cream and he kisses Little Joe. Good morning, everyone, says Daddy as he yawns a big yawn. My, we're all up early today. Nana and Little Joe look at each other, but don't say a word. They know they're the real early birds. So what are some clues that we found in this book about the who and the what and the where and the why? You guys remember? You were all discovered things. You were all looking with your magnifying glasses at them. Yeah, so now that we read this book and we looked at who, what, when, where, and why was maybe, now we are going to go and do this on our own. So, in this book, the who was the book about? Nana and Little Joe, you're right. What were they doing? Do you remember what they were doing? They were early birds, you're right, yep. They were getting up and they were moving around before everyone else was awake. So now that we know those clues, we can take that into our own reading and try to be scientists and find out clues about the who, what, when, where, and why in our own stories. So I want you all to get up, and we're going to grab our independent reading books out of our cubbies, and we are going to begin to read those, and we are going to become scientists and discover clues in our own reading about the who, what, when, where, and why in our stories. And then I will be handing out an anchor chart, and we will be completing that anchor chart. So it'll say who at the top, and then you'll write who the story is about underneath it. So say we're doing it for this one, under the who we would write Nana and Little Joe. And then the what, they were up early and looking for stuff to do. Where were they at? Well, they were on Wilson Street in their house. And why were they up? Because they're early birds. So see how we can connect this story to the who, what, when, where, and why. We can also connect our own stories that we're reading to the who, what, when, where, and why on our anchor charts. So now during student work time, I will be walking around and asking the students what their story is about and who's in their story and where it takes place and all that stuff, to see if they're starting to catch on to the different clues that are in a book to tell you those different questions. My main focus for the student work time is just them understanding the actual concept and them understanding how to do it themselves without me telling them, oh, this is who the story is about. And I will be walking around asking them questions, like I said, and trying to interact with them, and I will also be showing them my own anchor chart with what I completed about this book right here. And then after the student work time is complete, which will be about 20 minutes, hopefully they can get enough of their stuff done, we will then move on to our closure. And for our closure for this mini lesson unit, we will be talking with a partner about what we found about our books, and then sharing information about the who, what, when, where, and why, and how that makes a difference in how we read and how we become good readers by learning those different clues. And then we will come together for about a minute or two, and we will share a couple of the students' findings that they found in their own book. And then that will be the end of our lesson for today. Thank you.